feeling like DJ today. Good morning to you lovely people. What's going on? I kind of missed y'all.
Hey, I'm alive. I'm here.
I heard that. I heard that. Listen, so much has gone on. It's so much has gone on this week. And I was like, oh my gosh, should I do like a special or what? Good morning, lovely people. Welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. That is what you are listening to right now. We're on every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yes, 10 a.m. until 12 noon on your favorite podcast. Look us up. We are under Let's Shop Talk. I have my co-host today, Roogle the movie guy. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
And then I have the lovely Nick, the voice of the community. What's going on?
Hey, lovely people. All is well. All is well.
I heard that. So let's just jump on right into it. Let me get these numbers out. Listen, if you want to join in this conversation live, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 515-602-9667. 515-602-9667. Can't get through that one. It's 614-524-5328. All right. Nick.
Yes.
We're going to start with our boy. No, I'm going to save Kirk.
Okay.
I'm going to save Kirk. Roogle, you heard about Kirk?
Kirk Franklin?
Yes, sir.
And he told his son's going to break his neck. Something like that.
They ain't know he had that in him. See, I said I was going to wait for that one.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But you know what? Let's just jump right into it. That's our topic. Stomp. Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Listen.
Nick. Okay, wait. Let's set it up for the people that don't know. Kirk Franklin, in the gospel industry, everybody knows him. Very popular. Popular song, Stomp. I guess it has some meaning behind that one. His son called him. I gotta set this up though, because they try to make it seem like it was like really, really bad, you know, and they're like, oh, I can't believe that he was cursing because his son recorded him. So he was cussing the son out, and we don't know what the conversation was prior to his son recording him. So his son had the control. He had the ball in his court. So we don't, you know, he probably didn't have his stuff recorded. He just heard his father say he was going to break his neck, and he used the N word. It was like, if you ever disrespect me again. See, that's why we needed to see the preface or preface, however you want to pronounce it.
Exactly.
So it's like, what did you say that he felt that he needed to spaz out like that? Am I justifying his actions? I absolutely am.
How old is his son?
33.
Well, that's a conversation between two grown men.
Two grown men. So,
let's go. Let's get it on. I mean, like,
yes, and you know, I heard him sit there. I'm like,
they acting like he's a teenager.
You as a father, okay? That's why I was like, oh, I cannot wait. I
didn't know he was that old. I didn't know he was that old.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody's spazzing out. The world's spazzing out. I'm gonna let you go ahead because it's okay. We got to go in dialogue.
All right.
The world's spazzing out because they're like, oh, that's his son. But he's 33. That's a grown man. And y'all hear me say this all the time. Yes, you are the parent. But when you become an adult, you transition from parent mode to counselor. You know, so it's like, okay, before I was telling you, you need to do this, that, this is how it's going to be. Now you're an adult. You don't even live with me. Go ahead, Roogle. You go.
Hey, when I first heard about it, I thought the son was a teenager. I didn't know he was like an old man about to get Social Security, about to get checked.
33.
I didn't realize
his
that.
age.
Yeah, I mean, you crazy. But I didn't even realize that. Like, you know, I thought it was like I thought was like, oh, this is like a kid that's in his house. You know what I mean? And maybe he is in his house. I don't know.
Nope.
But I mean, Kurt Franklin's had a little bit of a checker pass, if you will. You know, I mean, this is the least of the things, you know, from what I've understood that has transpired. But I don't think people should be upset with him if he lost his cool with his son. Now the issue would be, has he always lost his cool with the son when he was like in his formidable years and all that kind of stuff? Or was this a separate event?
Now, I watched the interview on Tamir Hall show, on the Tamir Hall show. And she was, you know, actually she was asking him questions, but he kind of went into he addressed the elephant in the room, so to speak. And he was saying how it's always been an issue since he was younger. Now, I don't know if he talked to him that way and he finally recorded it, but he said there's always been an issue between him and his son since he was young. Kirk, you know, me and Kirk, we go way back. You hear me talking? He was pretty much saying that, you know, he spoke highly of his son's mom. Now, we don't know the insides or anything. And he was saying, you know, his mom is a wonderful person, but I guess he had an issue. And I'm gonna tell you what just came across this morning. Actually, what is it? 22 hours ago. So this morning for me, because I woke up and seen it, got the notification. But there had to be an issue. And to me, the issue is this young man. Like, if I'm buttering your bread all this time, not that I need to mistreat you, so hear me clear, but I'm buttering your bread. And if I don't do what you want me to do, you're not happy about it. Now you want to spaz out and tell me how terrible I am. I done moved on. I have a new wife. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is enough? And y'all, I'm going to leave my comments and my thoughts to myself. I want to hear from you, the people. 515-602-9667. Join on in. 614, if that line is busy, 614-524-5328. Go ahead. Roogle, you're going to be on this longer because I do have to ask more questions on this topic. Go ahead, Nick. What's your thoughts over the whole thing?
The whole thing is, I'm from the old school. That's the parent. I don't care if it was a teenager. If your child is acting out from 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy, then you do what you got to do. You say what you got to say. I don't see a problem in it. And for some of the Christians, fast now, y'all need to quit. You know what it says? He who is without sin cast the first stone.
Thanks, Roogle. You know you be having to help us out.
Yeah.
I know that one very well, trust me. But period.
No, that was good.
So why y'all cutting up? Because there's a lot of y'all that's been said or done a lot worse to your kid, in front of your kid. Yeah. So don't play with me.
My question would be, so you said he wasn't like, so the child when he was younger, he wasn't with the kid during his adolescence. Is that what I understand?
Not to my understanding, the way he spoke, he said his mom raised him really well. So I'm just making an assumption.
So what caused the conversation to even happen?
We don't know.
Okay.
That's why we're saying we don't know the preface of it. You know, where the son started to record, you know, where the son actually started to record, it was in the part of N-word, if you ever disrespect me. It went right from that part.
Yeah, well, that's the part that the son shared.
Right.
That ain't the part that ain't just the part that got recorded. That's all he wanted to share.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of feel like this is like, if there was some kind of impropriety when he was a kid or something like that, I mean, that's a different topic altogether. Mm-hmm. But just if we take it in the context in which we got it, you know, he 33, Kurt Franklin, whatever age he is, him and his son had a misunderstanding or whatever, and he used some words. I think like as a parent, sometimes there are those times where we be like, dang, I wish I wouldn't have did it like that. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody has those issues. You know what I mean? It's not I don't think it's a unfamiliar thing for a parent to make a mistake. And let's put it like this. I mean, if he name called him, I mean, that's the least of a mistake that a parent can make versus like some of the treacherous things we see happen. You know what I mean? With parent-child relations and terrible situations. But in this case, he's 33 years old. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it seems a little bit sensationalized. Like, people were
Yes.
like, oh, this is some new stuff, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of feel like, you know, I mean, to what Nick's thing was, you know, I mean, like, with it, and I was going to bring up a Bible verse, but it ain't like it ain't like I'm a huge fan of Kurt Franklin. Let me put that out there. You know what I mean? But I will say that I just think this was blown completely out of proportion. You know what I mean? And technically the son, he messing up the church's money. Pun is intended. Pun is intended. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it makes me wonder, like, what's really going on? What's the underlying issue here?
Well, the thing that makes me curious is that you said he went and did an interview about it. So why did he say like what the focus of the conversation was?
Well, that's what he did say, that him and his son had issues coming up, and that's why they have to have a mediator on the phone. So when I play this clip, you'll be able to hear somebody laughing, which to me is feeding into it and having, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't okay. They thought that it was the wife, and the wife, she actually stated, she was like, that was not me. It's his godfather. His godfather was on the phone because they always have to have a mediator because how the conversation always goes left, per Kirk Franklin on the Tamir Hall show. So you guys can go back and, you know, see that. You know what I mean? If you yeah, you can go replay everything.
So there's been a history of them just not getting along.
Right.
And you know, the thing I don't know, part of
No,
me
go with it. Go with it.
I mean, like, part of me is just saying, like, well, he a grown man. Like, once he was 18, 21 years old, he could have chose never to talk to him again.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, like the son could have made the decision, like, hey, that I don't like this relationship. I think it's bad for me. I don't want to deal with you, regardless of how much money he has.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Now that's what Kirk pretty much was saying. He's like, he don't want to give up on his son. And he said, he was like, that's my son. He said, and I love him with all my heart. He said, but I cannot be disrespected, but he won't cut him off. So pretty much what you're saying as a man, because you know, you know how the mothers are.
But I mean, if Kirk Franklin feel the need to send him a check monthly, I mean, that's what it is. But if the son is so conflicted, like, if it's a situation where every time we interact, is it worth having that conversation? Because it sounds like Kirk Franklin just gonna cut the check regardless. You know what I mean? So I would say, like, what is the driving force? What is this wedge? What is this wedge? And what made him get to the point of, like, hey, every conversation I have with my son, I got to have a mediator. You know how much, you know, think about it like this. How many times do you talk to your child or somebody that's you're fond of, you know, just on the spur of the moment? Just think of every time that you, like, you have to set up a formal meeting to just have a conversation. So it's something that happened there, and that hasn't been revealed to us, or there's some kind of situation that, I mean, to me, if I was him, I don't even think I would have did the interview. You know, I mean, if
you wouldn't have addressed the elephant in the room.
I mean, what's the elephant in the room? Me and a grown man who I helped bring into this world, we can have a misunderstanding. And so that's supposed to like destroy all my credibility and everything I've ever done.
Now, see, that's where the issue is. That's where the issue is at, and that's why he apologized.
To who?
To us.
No apology needed.
I didn't think so either. Go
But
ahead.
my thing is like this though, and I think Kirk Franklin is wrong for this. I wouldn't apologize to the general public for a conversation I had with my son. Like, if he's truly sorry about what transpired, the apology is to his son. The community, I mean, why do he owe them an apology?
Good point.
The issue
Good
is between him, God, and his son.
Good
Him,
point.
God, and his son. You know, it ain't like he like cussed out a fan that was trying to be like, hey, can I get an autograph? Let's stomp or whatever he do. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like, okay, he just generally disrespected the public. You know what I mean? I mean, like, this is getting a little bit kind of crazy. Unless there's some really deep-seated issue, you know, that they're trying to cover up and not talk about, that's a whole nother issue. But in the sense of him just having a disagreement and saying some unfavorable comments to his son, I don't know if that's necessary. I don't know if I'll be apologizing to the general public, but I think people do. It's, you know, it's a PR stunt. I mean, just like his son. Like, I ain't gonna. Yes, just like his son. Just like his son. He didn't release the whole video. He didn't release the whole whatever it was, video recording or whatever. He just released a snippet. You know, like, oh, okay, here's the hot button issue I'm going to release. You calling me the N-word. But
okay, let me say this in Kirk's defense. He said once his son got older, once his son became an adult, the disrespect got worse. I don't think that he's apologizing to the public because I guess the public saw him in that light. To me, just like Nick said, an apology wasn't needed, son. Cussing Christians. I mean, what did he? I don't see what he actually did that made him like, I mean, what's wrong? Because him being a gospel singer, they say that gospel music has gone too far. Isn't that it? I'm gonna play it before it's over.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna play the clip real quick, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see if I can get it set up.
What was the son's purpose of doing that?
See, I don't know, but it was just that little clip, and then it was also him on the phone, and then he goes to the part where he actually recorded. Were you able to hear it clear, or do I need to replay it?
We couldn't really hear it all that clear, but I think we get the gist of it.
Okay, wait a minute.
The son was wrong all the way around, period, point blank.
So who was the one who went on the MF rant? Was that Kirk Franklin?
I didn't hear MFer. Did I hear MFer?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that was Kirk.
Okay, and his son was saying, his son said, I'm effing grown, right?
Right.
There you have it. I mean, like,
yeah.
And the son was saying, "I'll dare you, I dare you, I dare you."
I just kind of feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm just a person that's really nonchalant. Yeah, I just think maybe I'm a person that's just really nonchalant about these issues, but I don't think that Kirk Franklin. I mean, maybe that was that preaching that came out of him. You know, he had to expand on what he was going to do. I don't know. you know, but
He had to
but,
give a description.
gotta get a description, you know, but you know, yeah, I just don't see what the problem. I mean, like, I see that there's a problem, but I don't
Okay.
see what the problem is to the general public. Like, this reminds me of when what's his name? Man, he was on 30 Rock. What's his name? Dog it. But anyway, it'll come Alex, he has four brothers in the industry. I can't think of his name. Alex Baldwin. Yeah, he had told he called one of his daughters a fat pig or something like that, right? And
Okay.
like, it was like one of these recorded things or whatever, and she kind of went out over it and she put it out there, and people were like, well, why would he call her that? You know, or why would he say that? Well, he had whatever his reason. I'm not trying to justify it, but you know, we all know that he survived it. You know what I mean? And she was like younger. Like, I think she may have been like a teenager.
Okay.
You know, in this situation, I just don't, like, it just doesn't compute to me as like, oh my God, look, I just think like people been in quarantine too long.
Okay, so
I want to hear the conversation what led Kurt to even go off like that. But I'm just gonna say one thing. From Nick the Voice to Kurt Franklin's son, you a punk for doing that. You a punk. I said it. You a punk. Find me, please, because I'll finish cussing you out. You a punk. You wrong. You wrong. Period. Point blank. I don't care what the situation is. Yeah. That is your parent. You're supposed to respect your parent. And as long as you give him respect, respect will come back to you. So obviously you had to do something to have your dad even go that far. And for you to record just what he said and not the conversation that led up to it before and want to put it out there, you a punk.
Yeah. I would say this though, that you said the guy laughed in the background. That was a cackle. Homeboy was feeling himself, whoever that was, laughing in the background. Like he was rolling. And I don't know, like, you ever be in a situation where, like, there's like, I don't know, as I got older, there's situations where I'll be like, man, I'm really mad, but I'm laughing. Like, it's just so funny to me that a person would even go there. You know what I mean? You know, but yeah, I mean, to me, I wonder if Kurt Franklin recorded it, because if I had to have a mediator every time I talk to somebody, I think I would have been recording the conversations myself.
Yeah, definitely. I would too, because if you have to have a mediator, maybe you don't even need to be stalking. I mean, or talking about stalking, you don't even need to be talking to that person. That's just me.
Yeah.
You know, why are we even having this, you know, this conversation if I got to have somebody in there?
Because it was like, you know, the son said, hey, I'm grown. And I'm like, well, why y'all having issues on this level? Like, I mean, I don't know the son, don't know how Kurt Franklin has treated him in the past and all that kind of stuff. But Kurt Franklin, from his comments and his, you know, he said, I ain't gonna give up on him or all this other stuff. It seemed like he just a check cutter. Like, he just gonna make sure that money there regardless. Because I almost wanted to
cut him off.
What's that? You would cut him off
and let him find his own way. Since he want to be like that.
I mean, he should be finding his own way anyway. I mean, this is
33.
You got all the you got all the opportunity in the world to do whatever. You know, I mean, come on. I mean,
that's why I said he being disrespectful. I don't care how old he is. If your father is taking care of you financially at that age and you want to still be disrespectful, grown or not, he should have cussed you out and he should put his foot up your behind. Period. You grown, like you said, I'm grown. Well, get your grown tail out there and find a job. Make your own way, make your own money, take care of your own self, and then you don't have to deal with whatever's going on between you and your dad.
Okay. Now, Roogle, you said you believe that it's a publicity stunt. Speaking of, and I don't think so, because he was trying to ruin his career. And to me, that's selfish, because if you think that this will potentially ruin my career, I'm with you, Nick. Why would you even do that? You don't care about your other siblings. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, anybody, you're grown now. So it's like, okay, I'm 33. All right, well, I'm about to ruin your career. But to me, it boosted his career, because I was reading on some blog, I can't remember which one it was, where they said that his fan base went up 72% since this has released. This footage has released.
He ain't do nothing but help him out.
That's because Kirk Franklin, he's trying to break into the gangster gospel rap. So this helped him out. He got street cred now because he had put his foot in his butt. You know what I mean? Now he stomped it. He gonna stomp it. The only thing better would have been as if he said, "Man, I stomp you." If he didn't said that,
that'd have been it.
That'd have been it.
They'd have blew it wide open.
You know, they had that dude on the young dude on face on is that thing where he'd be like, "Oh."
But wilding out.
I don't know what it was. No, it was like a little like a video, somebody got knocked out or something, and the boy grabbed his face and he'd be like, "Oh, it's somebody on."
Oh, I mean.
Yeah, something
Got
like
him.
Yeah, but yeah, just I mean, it just I don't see what the issue is. Now the thing is that I'm pretty sure, you know, is his son gonna come out with something else? And what I meant by publicity stunt is that you apologizing to the general public for a conversation you had with a grown man.
Well, I think they were waiting for him to speak out, because we tend to, as people, we tend to say, okay, well, if you're in the church, you're not using that type of language. You're perfect.
Man, you know, all I gotta say is that Peter was one of Jesus's disciples, and he cut a dude's ear off.
Right.
You know what
right.
I ain't saying. I just think the thing is sometimes like we talk about, like, I mean, I'm just gonna bring some history into it. The Crusades. The Crusades. Was the Christian faith just trying to like wipe out Muslims in the Crusades, right? I mean, like, it has never been an issue. Like, I think we pick and choose like when it's okay for Christians to show rage or anger. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's just kind of weird that like people are thinking that he is set apart from the realities of how people react in situations. I mean, we've all had a situation. I mean, the thing is, we always try to strive to be better, you know, but we've all had a situation where like, man, I don't know if that painted me in the best light, you know? And then as you start to grow into who you are, you start to see when other people do things, you like, man, why would you do that? You know what I mean? You know, it just kind of feels like, I mean, this seems very human to me. It doesn't seem like a thing where like people should be blown out of proportion about, oh my God, he's a Christian. You know, we all Christians, or most anybody who is a Christian. What would make you any different than him? True. You know what I mean? Like, why would it make you any different? You know, I mean, like, it is, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's so funny how the Bible says that, you know, sin is sin, but we put this extra compound thing on it when it's a certain person that does it, when you should be held accountable for it regardless of who you are, right? I mean, it's
let me put this correction. I see where according to Atlanta Black Star, the mom, Sean Ewing, of the son, and he's 32. He didn't turn 33 yet. So let me
okay. So he is okay, but he over 30.
He's 32 and not 33.
Okay, but he over 30.
Right.
No, he over 18. He way over 18.
He way over 18.
Let me share the statement that she actually made. I guess he's speaking out, the son, Carry On, was saying that he was abandoned. Well, mom stepped in and said, you were not abandoned. So mom is like, no, we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it. And that's according to her first interview with Atlanta Black Star. That's where they kind of like brought her into the fold, where I'm sure she like, I don't even want to be anywhere
Yeah.
Ignorance.
Well, it's something going on to where, I mean, like the thing is, he said he was abandoned, right? And let's put it like this. Okay, yeah, you may know a little about this, Mel. They say when people start becoming addicted to drugs, they kind of their their mental growth stops where they began the drug use. Like, have you heard that before? And I'm not trying to say the guy's addicted to drugs or anything
Right.
like that. But what I'm saying is that there might be a thing there where like because this seems very childish, you know, in its whole makeup and everything like that. But the reason I brought up that age thing is that maybe there was something that was traumatic for him, right? Maybe he didn't feel like he had enough time with them. Maybe he felt like, you know, he could never live up to father's expectations or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Even if he set those parameters by himself with no influence by Mr. Franklin. It just seems like there's some kind of like failure to launch there for him to take responsibility. You know, and it just seems like I mean, what if he feels like he didn't have enough time with him? I don't know. Like, but obviously there's something there that this guy wants, his son wants to have this conversation with him. But we are talking about it from a perspective as if, like, who initiated the phone call? Was it Kurt Franklin? Oh, Rachel. Okay, go ahead.
Go, Nick. You okay? I'm thinking you want to talk. Okay. I don't know who initiated the phone call, but I'm going to say that probably Kirk, since he had his son's godfather on the phone, so maybe he called. Because let's be real, there's some calls you get, and they may not be from your children, but you get that call, and every time that person call your phone, you know either they want something or it's going to be something extra, and you're just not feeling it. You like, now is not a good time, and they might just be calling to say, hey, how you doing? However, any other time, you know the pattern, and you be like, nah, I call them back when I'm ready. I can't deal with them right now. I'm in the middle of something. So you see that they called, and then you return the call. The interesting thing, see, I don't really know. I'm not really phone savvy where you could like record a call and all that other stuff off the phone. I don't know. But if you look at the young man when he actually was recording it, he had two devices. So he had the phone that was down on his lap, and then that other one, it was a device, so it probably was a recorder. So you intended to do ill will, and it's just flipping out. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Nick. I'm definitely with you on that. It's just really interesting how things are. And you don't know, you know how children are, if they want their parents to be together, and then now your parent has another family and you feel as though that you're out because the family they're married to, now they divorced you. You feel as though that you may have divorced, you know, that the father divorced you. There's a lot of things that could play into this. But when you say a publicity stunt, we know who the celebrity is that is like the publicity stunter of all times, and that's Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal, you know, he done put some icy hot on his balls.
You talking about Papa John's puppet?
And everybody
Papa
else.
John and the general and
well, the general. I'm okay with the general. I wasn't cool with Papa John's. I just think Papa John's hired him to fix their PR mess with the
That's why
owner.
they call Shaq the PR guru. So, and you know, Icy Hot, he does it for Icy Hot as well. So they had where Shaq used some Icy Hot, got on his balls, and
this happened to us all.
I don't know, has it? And he used milk to cool it down. So
put milk on it?
Yeah, like Icy Hot on your balls. Like, what's the? I mean, help me.
I would just say I used to run track, and like sometimes you would put like not Icy Hot per se, but like Tiger Balm, if y'all familiar with that at all. Like you kind of like massage in, you know, those areas, and you know sometimes things get a little bit spicy. but but I never was like, hey, let me figure out. I mean, like you just kind of just work through it. You know what I mean? I never heard of the milk solution to hot ointment.
I
The hot
guess Shaq
balls.
said there will be no burning balls this way.
No burning balls. Well, he had to learn that from somebody. Somebody told him, like, milk is a base and it counteracts the acid that's inside the hot, icy hot or something. You know what I
Whatever
mean?
works.
Yeah,
Look,
sounds.
so that's what your boy did. Your
And
boy
he put,
used milk. But
I
I'm
mean,
like, icy hot. So wait, icy hot, doesn't that give you like a cooling sensation?
well, it was cool but warming, you know. So it's cool on, but then it starts to heat up.
Oh, burning balls.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what was the context? I mean, like, he an old man. I mean, why is he sharing what he's doing with his balls?
Maybe they was hanging low. Who knows?
I'm just saying it wasn't like he was.
Maybe his knee was hurting and he was putting some icy hot on there and then accidentally.
His knee was hurting. He was like,
His
he
knee was
swing
hurt.
low, huh?
Yeah, swing all the way low. You know, you like he an old man.
Oh
And he was
man.
putting some icy hot on his knee, on his joint. And it
On
just
his
accidentally
joint.
got on there. So he dipped them in milk.
And what he told people this?
That's all up. You know your girl got you covered.
Okay, if I'm ever invited to Shaq's house, I'm never drinking out of a cup. Not a cup, not a bowl. I'm like, I got my own paperwork. I got my own flatware. I'm gonna break out one of those cafeteria sports.
But like, I'll be right back. I got all my stuff in the bag right here. I'm ready.
I'm like, oh, we got champagne. I'm like, here go my paper cup that look like a little funnel.
You gonna come with a red cup?
No, I'm coming with a paper cup that look like a funnel. Those little triangle looking cups.
The little
Back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
the water cups, the water paper. Those little cones.
Like, I'm
That's
just saying,
hilarious.
man. Some things you just keep to yourself. Nobody want to hear about.
I would really think. I'm sitting there like, why would you tell like that? I'm sorry. Look, there I go, moving and grooving, and even answering the phone. I apologize to you, lovely people. Okay, one more time: 515-602-9667, 614-524-5328. I done missed. I keep doing it because I be into what I'm into. I done missed.
Well, that's just like, the breakdown from the
calls. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's just the issue with, like, we is all in the studio doing it like we used to. We'd have been able to pick up on things, you know.
Right. Somebody is looking like, I'm sorry. Try it again. I got you. I'm so sorry.
Try it again.
Try it again. That's how it was before. I be sitting there like, boom, 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 doing it. I'm so sorry.
So what compelled him to tell the world about this Milky Balls situation?
I have no idea.
Throw it out.
I have no idea.
Like, we don't want to know about your hot milky balls, man.
Hot milky. Like,
take no coffee over Shaq's house.
Zero.
Them balls might.
He said might even been in a coffee.
You know, that coffee mug might have some ball stains in it. You don't want
a coffee pot.
None of that.
You are crazy.
I'm just saying, like, if he gonna put that out there, he gonna get clowned. That's all I'm saying.
Big time. Wow. Big time. Now listen, wait.
Yuck.
How about this politics stuff has gone so far, and we get ready to get with you, Roogle, on the politics. But in Florida, it has gotten so bad that in Florida, vice principal and her daughter, the vice principal, I believe, she's being brought up on charges to do jail time. I'm about to tell y'all. I want to set it up first so y'all can get ready. You know, I like the boom. And her daughter is going to be, you know, in the juvie system, juvenile detention, because her and her child were caught or found guilty of stuffing the ballots for homecoming queen. Isn't that? I'm like, we just got back to school. Like,
Listen, that's kind of stuff been happening for years. That ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
I'm really the prom king and queen, and for real, is that serious?
If you got a relative that's principal, vice principal, or somewhere high up helping the count, that stuff been going on for so long. Yeah.
Is that why I didn't get homecoming queen?
That could be.
Like,
Cause there'll be some people that be put on the court that you be going, huh?
Yeah, you ain't never heard of, but
You never heard of, or they not popular at all. You just be like, that's plain Jane for real. Like,
but here's my thing though. Why? Like, the win is not the same if you cheated.
It don't matter. Sometimes it's just to have the title.
Just
more
title.
The title is more important than how you got there.
Really? See, I wouldn't feel
Ask your boy Donald Trump. Ask your boy.
Well, we know that he upset.
You know,
that's why they had the insurrection.
But the point I'm saying is that, yeah, I mean, like he lost, but he wanted to fix it. You know, I mean,
Why do I mean, at some point, honestly, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it if I didn't get there on my own merit. Like, I would know deep down inside, like, okay, somebody hooked me up, and this is how I got it. Like, it's not the same. My chest isn't stuck out farther, far enough.
But this is, these are elitist problems. This is just like the college scandal. Like, oh, I must have this school, even though I can go to any other school in the world. I must have this one. And what you telling me no? Oh, I'm going to get in. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. Like,
that's
I mean,
narcissistic behavior.
Yeah,
that's what that sounds like to me.
So they don't, the thing is, they don't care about the hard work that goes into it, because then that weakens the argument for the person who is from the wrong side of tracks, that makes the opportunity come about because of hard work and endurance, versus somebody who has the ability and influence to change the outcome.
Okay. But high school?
Where you think it begins at?
Yep.
Where you think it begins at?
Look, I'm like Sharon. I'm like Sharon Osbourne. Educate me. Educate me.
Oh, and Sharon Osbourne.
Wait, we about to talk about her. But I like high school. Maybe I'm just one to just like, I had a blast, but high school was just high school like that.
But the high school,
it's those preppy types that are more concerned with the title and everything. The preppy types, those are the ones that do stuff like that. Watch them Lifetime movies when they be showing, like, based on true stories about how a parent will go all the way, like the one about the girl that was a cheerleader trying to be captain, and the mama went and killed the stuff like that happens.
That's some issues.
So stuff like that happens all the time. We don't hear about it all the time unless it's one of us that does something.
Right. That's interesting. Now I know you wanted to talk about Sharon because you missed last week when we talked about it. Go ahead, Nick.
She was wrong as 2 left feet for that comment. Like, especially if you know that is going to potentially harm your career. Why would you? I don't think she knew,
due to this whole white privilege we talking about. I don't think she realized it.
How playing the victim can she be? Don't play the victim now, Sharon, because for one, Sharon is has always been outspoken, and but still,
and will dog somebody out in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So there's certain topics that you don't, if you want to say it, don't say it publicly. Say it to yourself. Talk to your husband with his non-talking self.
You know what though? She has spoken out, and I can't remember which outlet she spoke on, but she was saying how she felt blindsided. They had a pact, and their pact was that they wouldn't blindside anybody. And she said she felt like they had questions that were written down and nobody told her that they were going to ask her those questions. Now, this is the talk, and you're supposed to be authentic. then be authentic. Clearly that it's all set up. So now we know how it is. The show has been on a hiatus since that time, which is really nuts to me, because this is the time that you should actually be able to speak. Come out. Let's address these issues and let's have the talk, since that's what it's called.
Listen, don't put the show on hiatus, put her on hiatus.
And that's the way I feel, but I believe she's one of the creators of the show. And that's why I was saying last week when I was talking to Roogle, remember I was saying how I saw Cheryl, like in her mind, I felt like it was like boxes being checked, because her response, she like stopped and you could tell her wheels were turning, because now she can't, she's silenced, because can I actually say what I really feel? She's a creator of the show. Will I be terminated? Like I was gonna say fired and terminated together. I said terminated. But am I gonna be like Holly Robinson Pete? And Sharon put that on there, was like, well, me and Holly were friends. She asked me, she said she missed me. How does she think that I'm racist? She told Holly Robinson Pete, Holly, that she was ghetto. And then they removed Holly off the show. And I'm like, you know, so, but
why they remove Holly if Sharon told her she was ghetto?
Because like I said, so I guess Sharon got enough pull. And this is why when you made the statement, why did they put the entire show on a hiatus instead of just Sharon? There you go. Pretty much.
Well, guess what? Sharon don't got that much pull, because Sarah Gilbert, I guess, is the big person of the show. She a producer or whatever. So now Sharon is wondering about her job. So she don't got that much pull. If she wondering about her job.
She had an issue with Sarah Gilbert. That's the one that's she's gay.
Yes.
I think her thoughts on that too. That was an issue as well. But
is that the one from
Roseanne?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Are they still calling it Roseanne?
It's the Connors now, but I mean,
Connors, okay.
Same difference.
Okay.
You know, and explaining who she is.
Right. I just think that, to me, if it's called the talk, they should be talking about it. And when we spoke of, well, I think that was me talking about narcissistic, when she, we're gonna rewind just a little bit, when she told Cheryl, and don't you start crying, I should be the one crying. That's narcissistic behavior, because what she did is took the role of being the victim. You spewed venom, and now you want to be the victim because you pretty much ate the venom. Because when you stand with somebody, people need to understand, and Rue, I want you to chime in here. People need to understand, when you stand with people, that means you stand with them and everything that they are saying or doing at that time, whatever you're standing on. Talk to me, Roogle, about that.
I mean,
you had the same thought process. Go ahead.
I just think there's two different things with that. I mean, you could support somebody and tell them when they're wrong, and you can support somebody and defend them when they're right. You know, I just kind of feel in this whole situation, the issue has nothing to really do with her back in Pierce, or whatever his last name is, Pierce Morgan. The issue was, how you going to tell somebody else how they should react? Just like with, I mean, it's kind of similar to the Kirk Franklin thing. I mean, how you can't tell somebody how to react, how to feel about something, because that's their thing, right? And in this situation, I just don't see how she can take the steps to say, Black woman, this is an issue about race, but no one wants to hear you crying about it. So stop it. That was her problem. Everything else up until that point.
But let's go where the whole issue derived from, the whole conversation derived from. But that's my issue. Now, when you look at the definition of support, bear all or part of the weight of. Bear all or part of the weight of. So why she supported him? So there you go. This is it. Take it. Take it. Support. I'm not going to, if I don't agree with either one of you guys, I don't support you in that. If I support you in it, then that means I agree with you. I'll be like, nope, I can't. And you know, I'll tell you, I'll be like, no, we don't agree on this one. Are you still my friend? Yes.
I mean, a good example is Coming to America. Y'all loved it. I thought it was the worst thing ever made. But you know what I mean?
You forgot it was a comedy. You wanted to be
everybody, you're right.
Intellectually funny.
Right.
It was intellectually funny.
Right. I forgot it was a comedy because it wasn't funny. You absolutely right.
I thought it was a comedy. See, there you go. Nick, did you think it was a comedy or not?
Yes, I thought it was a comedy.
Eddie Murphy is one of the most intellectual comedians out, and you got to look at it.
I don't know
you
about to say
Wakanda,
that.
But leave it to you. You think Wakanda? You going to Wakanda? Go buy your ticket.
I should be going to. Hey, I'm just saying you got to take more responsibility with the project now, and it seems like the project back in the day took that responsibility. This did not. And it's kind of sad because they just, I mean, I know you changed the subject.
It's all right, go ahead. That's what we do.
But when you look at the work that was done for Dolomite versus this, and you had Wesley Snipes in there doing his thing in that, funny, you know, it was well done. And compared to this, I'm like, what is this?
Now see, remember the joke that they made in the Coming to America 1 or Coming to America, where they said that they wouldn't do remember they made the joke as far as like the spinoffs or the sequels and all that other stuff.
Yeah. And
the reason that he said that he and Arsenio did that is because it was iconic. Like that movie was iconic. People were still doing it. Like they have, I forgot what city it was. They have a McDowell's every year for Halloween. Beyonce and them did a Coming to America party. Candy Burris, if you guys are Real Housewives of Atlanta, remember her wedding was the Coming to America.
Yep.
About doing the first birthday party in the Coming to America theme. Are you gonna come?
Yep.
All I'm saying is that you don't have to, for as far as her wedding, I'm just gonna break it down from there. She didn't have to use that trope as Coming to America wedding. She could have had she could have dug into her African roots and had a wedding built into that. You know, the point I'm saying is that I just kind of felt like that movie was a far cry from anything that we deserved in 2021.
We needed a lighter.
It was light.
Lighter. I knew you was gonna say something.
It was real light. No substance at all. It was so light, had no substance at all.
We needed a lighter, we need to not be so heavy. We need, what's the word I'm looking for?
We needed levity, but that wasn't it. This wasn't it.
There you go. Yeah, levity.
It wasn't it. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't it. I mean, it wasn't.
So what, Mr.
Don't get me wrong.
What movie would you say would give us that?
What movie right now?
Yeah, everybody want to
right now.
Heavy right now.
You got to go back and pull out some archives. You know what I'm saying? You got to. I mean, like right now, I don't know if that movie exists as a new release.
So should we be going back watching I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Go ahead. Go back and watch Hollywood Shuffle.
There you go. Nick, did you like Hollywood Shuffle movie?
No.
Oh my God. Oh man. Okay.
See, I would rather watch Blank Man.
That's even worse
than Hollywood Shuffle.
I would rather watch Blank Man.
Dang. Did you ever see Blank Man?
Yeah.
I saw the beginning and I was like, that's not for me.
Yeah, I would much rather watch Blank Man than Hollywood Shuffle.
So Hollywood Shuffle is on your number ones, Roogle?
It would be on my number one of filmmaking that changed the game. And Robert Townsend definitely deserves credit for that piece there. Definitely.
Robert Townsend, the only movie that Robert Townsend did to me to change the game was The 5 Heartbeats.
Yep. He really did a good job with that one. Because every time it come on,
you wouldn't have 5 Heartbeats. you wouldn't have 5 heartbeats if it wasn't for the allegory of what he did and of what Hollywood Shuffle had brought about.
We wouldn't have the 5 heartbeats if the Temptations wasn't there. Let's keep it real.
You wouldn't have. I mean, it was his thing. You wouldn't have it if that wasn't a success. I mean,
okay, Spike Lee.
Yeah, Spike Lee.
Okay, Spike Lee.
Yes.
What's most memorable about a Spike Lee movie?
When the person is like kind of floating through life.
Okay.
You know, and it's like all these things are happening. It's just like
they on that thing and that they put.
Yeah, when they get on it, yeah.
They on the oversized skateboard. I wonder if they on a skateboard. Like,
nah, I think they're just on some sort of rig or something that's just pulling them along.
But that's what you remember of Spike Lee. What's your favorite Spike Lee?
And the color. Like for some reason, Spike Lee movies seem to be like very vivid for me.
Okay, so what stands out besides, okay, so you got the little rolling thing. He's known for that. So what stands out with Spike Lee? What's the most memorable movie of Spike Lee?
I like them all, but School Days.
You didn't like School Days?
I said I like them all, but School Days is the one that stands out for me.
Okay.
I would say to me, and it just because I remember buying this soundtrack, was More Better Blues.
Now, see, that is, and the reason I was asking that because you like Hollywood Shuffle. More Better Blues stood out for you. School Days stood out for me. And it's probably because of the whole college years, the whole, fraternities and sororities, it gave you, and to wake up. That's the first person that said, stay woke. That was my impression. But I think that I related more with School Days because of the whole jigaboos, the wannabes, and it brought light to stuff that we haven't really noticed. Like you had your light skin and dark skin. It's like, wait a minute, what?
Right. It brought light to racism within our race.
Yes, there you go. And you like More Better Blues. What did you like?
Like more like when I'm thinking about it, I like Girl 6 a lot. More Better Blues.
You like Girl 6?
Yeah, Girl 6. Man, Girl 6 is good, man.
Girl 6. Okay,
Girl 6, I'm telling you.
Icy Hot Balls, all of that.
Wait a minute. Didn't he also produce Malcolm X?
Yeah, he did Malcolm X too.
To me, out of all of his films, that one was the best. Even though it was a biopic.
Over time. That was over time, so he's gotten better as a producer.
Better. And even though it was a biopic, he just really brought it.
Well, let's look at the time frame for that because the thing was Do the Right Thing. He actually got nominated for Academy Award for that one as well.
About that, I like that one too.
With Radio Raheem.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, the body, his body of work is like the only thing I can say I probably didn't really, and I don't even know if I really gave it a good watch, was the 25th Hour.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. But that might be one of the ones that I really didn't really pay that much attention to. Edward Norton and Harvey Keitel were in that. I can't right now. I'm having a hard time remembering what it was even about. But his body of work in that time frame was just so impactful, and to me it seems like any project he did during that time period was this gold, because he also did The Inside Man too with Denzel Washington and that sort of thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That was good too. So Spike Lee, he's a really, really good producer. He knows.
The reason I was asking that is because Robert Townsend, and he was speaking to Robert Townsend, and I like entertainment. I like funny. I like to have a good time. I like Jungle Fever, and the movies that were more. When I sit down, because y'all know I don't really watch movies, but when I sit down to watch a movie, it's usually like a comedy. And the parts that stick out to me is the funny. And for Roogle, look, I'm still back with Eddie Murphy going on back. Roogle is not looking at the funny, or maybe his comedy is very different from mine. Maybe you have your humor.
I even like Chirac.
Who is Chirac?
You didn't see Chirac? Okay, so you.
I didn't get a chance to see it either.
So
wait, you're the movie guy, so you're supposed to see all of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
Me, I'm like,
get on the bus. I
like, go to the theater for the snacks.
Like, it's so much stuff that I'm looking at that I forgot I even did. Like, Get on the Bus was really good.
Oh, was that a good movie?
Yeah, that was the one where they were talking about going down to the Million Man March on the bus, and the bus broke down.
Oh, the bus broke down. See, I remember the real stuff, but I didn't see the movie, and the bus broke down. Oh, okay. Oh, the bus broke down.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
I heard you a singing group. Sang something.
They got pulled over at that.
Oh, they got pulled over. Their bus broke down. Okay, tomato to me.
So School Days came in 1988, and Malcolm X was 1992.
So he evolved. Okay.
So I mean, but you figure, like, when you're talking about writing a film, he's probably writing that in the early, probably the 89, time period.
And his is more educational, I've noticed. You know what I'm saying? It's like informative, letting you know what's happening. Even like Jungle Fever, that was like unheard of. And I ain't gonna say unheard of. It was heard of, but it wasn't a bright light shined upon.
What I would say is the last time that there was a cinematic movie that dealt seriously with different races and marriage was probably Look Who's Coming to Dinner. So for it to have,
but that's a remake, right?
What is?
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Guess Who's coming? No, I'm talking about the Sidney Poitier.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
I don't know if they've done it after that, and they should not have.
Okay, go ahead.
If they did, they should be ashamed of themselves. Seriously.
Yeah.
They should be ashamed.
Yeah, they did one where I don't know if it was called the same thing, but sort of the same thing with Bernie Mac was the parent and
yeah.
Zoe
Is this like Adam Kusher, or am I messing up the name?
Yeah.
It's Kusher is the last name, right?
Yeah. I can't think of it.
Look, I'm like Adam Sandler.
It ain't Adam, but anyway, yeah, I do remember that. But look Who's Coming to Dinner was I think the woman was blind that he was with, I believe.
Oh,
or am I mixing up his movies?
Are you talking about her Sydney's?
Yeah, Sydney's. Or am I mixing up his movies?
I don't know. But that was one that you said where you had the interracial.
Yeah, but look, the one with Bernie Mac came out several years after Jungle Fever.
Oh, okay. I guess that's that is he was married to Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Asher.
Oh,
Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like, what is his name? Stop it. Look, I'm sitting here.
Ashton something.
Okay. Ashton. That's it. Ashton
Kutcher.
That's it.
Okay.
Lord, wonder what he doing. Roogle, tell us what's happening in politics.
Uncle Joe fell down the steps. He was getting on the airplane. He fell down the steps like 3 times. They tried to make a big deal out of that. Hey, he was taking them stairs though. I was like, hey, he's 78 taking them stairs like that.
He tried to show off.
They said it was very windy that day and everything like that. And,
if the wind blow you down the stairs, sit down.
Well, I mean,
weights on your ankles.
I mean, I'm sure you've been driving along the freeway and there's been a tough wind that blows the car a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And he only looked like he weighed like 150 pounds, if that.
So you're telling me that the wind was as if we were driving down a freeway?
I mean, he only
And
extended.
it blew him over. The big bad wolf blew him over 3 times.
Hey, as long as he ain't hit his head, I'm okay.
You're okay.
So if he got up and tried to take them steps, I mean, he ain't a quitter. He didn't quit.
Now that he's not, and clearly he's not. You see, he's still running.
Uncle Joe did not quit, yo. He kept it moving.
I was nervous. I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, pray for the president.
While the folks on the one news site locally sitting there, you know, them Trumpsters.
The trumpets.
Trumpanzees. Boom. Got all kinds of stuff to say. Talking about he got dementia and we're trusting America to a president who can't even walk, stuff like that. We trusted America to a fool that couldn't even talk and was talking too much.
But the thing was, it wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was walking feebly up the steps and he fell. He was fried.
He was fried like President Obama, and then he was that he wasn't President Obama.
He was hitting them steps like he was like reliving some like high school football training or something. He was running the bleachers. That's what he was doing. I'm just saying. I ain't mad. I mean, the dude.
I'm glad.
I mean,
running the bleachers. You right on that one.
I mean, come on. 78 years old, fell 3 times, kept going, no broke hip or nothing. Come on, man. Why y'all playing?
Now, since you said reliving high school, your coach wouldn't let you quit either. Get up. Keep it going. Get up.
And he probably heard the coach. Yeah, he got it. You know. I mean that.
Now, was that? I didn't look at the times, so forgive me. But was that before or after the that person went to go and I'm not even allegedly, let me say that just to protect myself and us, to kill the vice president?
I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And he's a vet.
I didn't hear nothing about
that. You better Google it. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. That's why I'm wondering, like
it was just within this week.
They were outside of Kamala Harris's mansion. He was. And he had an AR-15 and what else, Nick?
I can't remember all the weapons. All I know is he went to try to assassinate her.
He was ready. But guess what? She ain't no quitter either, because you see she was in Atlanta yesterday.
Exactly.
She's like, okay. Isn't that sad?
That's crazy. But sis, do me a favor, Madam Vice President, don't. Make sure you have your bulletproof vest, because some of them Secret Service men is supposed to be protecting you. I don't trust them all that well neither, because some of them have something to do with that insurrection.
And that's
protect your own neck sometimes.
Go ahead, Roogle.
I'm just trying to look at this, and the only thing I can see is something from October of 2020.
You need to
I can't find anything new,
sir.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to update your computer. Man arrested with gun near Vice President her mansion, and he was the Naval Observatory Vice President Kamala Harris official resident. Yeah, this was Wednesday. This was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what's going on? But I do.
Okay, I see it now.
Look, there we go. Boom. Look, that automatically went. Y'all know this is a live show. See, that's what I get for I need my people back to help me do it. I'm trying to finagle everything. According to Metropolitan Police Department, 31-year-old Paul Murray of San Antonio, Texas, was detained by Secret Service and arrested. A rifle and ammunition were recovered in his vehicle, police said. They actually said what type of weapons on the article that I saw. Let me see, she wasn't living in the residence while it's undergoing renovations. Okay. And then they said where she's residing at. Y'all missed, she wasn't even staying there. I need y'all to go here. Stop it. I won't disclose that information as far as where she's staying at. But that is not okay. That is not okay. Like, How and why do people feel as though they can just act out? Is it, and racism, let's be real, the racists, and I said this, about 4 years ago. I said, some people are upset that 45 ends up becoming president because we were able to see who the racists really were. They actually unveiled themselves.
Yep.
So it seems like the Secret Service got the guy before the police came, from what I read here by CNN.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll tell you what's even more interesting, and I'm gonna go live with it. When you have your friends that clearly isn't watching or listening to your show, they keep inboxing you. Stop it. Stop inboxing me because it keeps coming up on the screen. I'm like, stop, I'm on. I got to figure out. See, that's why I said I really need my people back, because if my people were back, they know how to make sure that goes off and not, on at the time, because I can't control it. I'm like, I'm trying to figure this thing out. So give me a little bit of time. Hey, if you want in on this conversation, I apologize for not answering because I was into what we were talking about. The phone number is 515-602-9667, 515-602-9667, 614-524-5328. All right. Look, I'm like,
I just every now and then remind you to look at the phone.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah, just point. Because I got it down. I'm like, see, you know what? See the studio.
Look, I'll just do this. When I do this, you'll know.
Look over. Just pay attention. Look over a little bit. Y'all already know I miss you guys in the studio because I had the whole setup. It'd be like, here's you got call both.
We had the most fun when we were all together in the studio.
Yes, now we're all separated, but I get to look at your wonderful faces. So that's a good thing. Like, I'm like, that's a good thing. What else you got for the politics? How you not know where, even though I know I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
How did you know? What you over there eating? Skittles or raisins?
Almonds.
Oh, you know what? Oh, look at you doing good.
All right.
Look at
I didn't even know the screen was back up.
Oh, yeah, you're here.
So I'm glad I wasn't digging in my nose or something. Right?
You know what?
Now, if you were, I'd be like, So,
hey, you gotta clean it out sometimes.
Are you on a diet?
I need to be.
So that will be.
I need to be.
The COVID weight. The people.
Yes.
The people.
That COVID weight is hard to get off. I've been trying. Aside from just completely starving myself, which I'm not gonna do.
Right.
I
The
need to figure out
COVID weight. They said the average COVID, the average COVID weight that has been put on is 15 to 20 pounds in a year.
Yep.
This year. Would you agree or disagree?
I
agree wholeheartedly because that's where I'm at.
I actually lost weight during COVID and then somehow gained weight after like I was like, how is that possible? Like during the shut in part, I was losing weight because I was like, hey, I didn't want to flood the house like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade balloon, so I was being real careful. Then like I got a little bit comfortable. Next thing I know, snacks.
So that's what I'm trying to understand. So you lost weight. Is it because did you used to eat fast food?
You know what? I have returned to it. That's the problem. I've returned to it.
Me too, like heavy, because I tried to leave it alone for a while, but I have most definitely, every time you turn around, it's some fast food, and I have to break that cycle again because I was doing so good. I was doing my shakes, my protein shakes, my smoothies, my water, and then all of a sudden it was just like, but even when I was doing that, I wasn't losing the weight fast enough for myself, but I noticed in my face, I started losing it in my face because the little double chin was bigger than this, but all of a sudden it's not as double as it was, but
you were
getting
the little chin. You were getting the little chin, the little Peter Griffin.
Yeah, I was getting a little Peter Griffin, all of this sweating, and it's still not as bad as it was, but I've picked up some more weight since November, and I noticed it's getting back out there. But I was doing good because I was like, "Ooh, I'm not losing no weight." But then I looked at my face, and the whole double chin was gone. I was like, okay, I'm losing weight, but it just
But
wasn't.
that's okay, because do you know how to take the selfies and take pictures when you have the little chin or the little double chin? I'm gonna help you out. See, Ruggle's cool because he got a beard, so we can't see the little chin. But
I don't get it. This
Yo,
tight
little
under
chin.
there.
Oh, yeah, you got the
No,
little
it's
chin.
tight under there. I gotta do all this to make it a little one. Nah,
Okay.
that's my problem.
Angle the camera. So
Oh.
if you have a double chin, you hold the camera up and you tilt your head to the right or left, whichever side you tilt your head to. Don't make sure the camera's not in that hand, because then, you know, the chin will slide to that side. You know what I'm saying? So if you have the camera in your right hand, you want to tilt your head to the left and you hold it up. Boom, you look good. It's all about the angles. Now I'm gonna tell you about the hating photographer. The hating photographer will take a photo of you directly in front of you, straight on. Now we know that the camera doesn't lie. The camera just takes what it sees.
Child, because I was looking at some of the pictures last week and over, yeah.
The camera will take what it sees, but a skilled photographer, if you are very tall and you're a little thick, you know what I mean? You know, swollen around your colon, take it from the top and tilt it down and it'll give you a line. If you are short, tilt the camera up and take it from the bottom. It'll make you look taller. Free. That's free information for you lovely people. It's all about the lines. So when you pose, make sure you make a line. If it's slanted, if you're going to do like to cross your feet, make sure there's a line. It's all about the lines, lovely people. It's all about the lines.
Yeah, my pictures are currently being edited and I can't wait to see him because he does wonderful work as far as taking pictures. I can't wait.
Awesome. And he does. You're talking to Kenyon?
Yes, Kenyon does a bang up job because he did pictures for my brother when we threw him for a surprise 40th birthday party, and he actually, that was his gift to my brother. Those pictures were phenomenal.
Now with the editing, now here's the thing with the editing and the, what is that called? The what y'all do now?
Photoshop, you talking about?
Yeah, not Photoshop, but it's called something else. Filters.
The filters, yeah.
What y'all gonna do when y'all go outside? They're like, that's not the same person. What do you do when you go outside and roll up? Like, hold on a minute. Is that why people don't answer the phone for video chat?
Right.
You know what I mean? They be like, no, I don't look the same as I did. I'm not ready. What do you do when you go outside and you meet the person? You use filter. And then when you see the person, be like, that's the same person. So if I'm staring at you guys and I'm out in public and I don't know you and we are on social media and I don't speak, do not get upset. I don't know you without your filter. You know? Or,
exactly.
And if I'm staring at you, I'm thinking that's you, but here's the thing though. Honestly, speak anyway. Even if you don't know the person, let's spread some cheer, because it is so much going on. Now let's move on to the George Floyd case. They're trying to choose a jury, and it's hard to choose a jury because so many people know about the case. Now that's happening right now. Would you be biased if you were on a jury, Nick?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, even though I'm basing it off of the actual evidence, what we saw, yes, I would.
Okay, what about you, Roogle?
I think a person, when you the evidence is so overwhelming that the only way that you could say that it wasn't murder is if, you know, you had another agenda. Like right. I don't think that bias. I mean, you have a video of the entire.
I shouldn't use the term bias, but do you already have a decision? But go ahead, Roogle.
Yeah.
I mean, you use the right term. You use the right term, bias, but I just kind of feel like it's so, the evidence is so strong, it's so compelling. Like, I mean, how could you not see it as what it is? I mean, because you figure all that time, those many officers, him being like that, they could have easily threw him in the back of a car, like at minute 4, right?
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? Like nobody tried to actually put him in the police
just
vehicle.
did it right there, blatant. They were blatant, and that's what I'm saying.
So I mean,
with 45 being in office, it's just like, we don't care. Nothing happens to us. Watch me do this right now. Y'all know my thoughts on that. You got to go back and listen to an old show to see where I was at with that. I'm just curious to know. I said 2 words a while back before the case actually came up. And it probably was like 2 months ago. And I'm just wondering are they going to say excited delirium? That's when he said, when he called out for his mother. And we know medically, you know, when it's like an oxygen to the brain, because we know, and I said, this is me speaking. I don't need anybody to stand with me or support me on this one. You murdered him. You flat out murdered him in our face. And it's supposed to be okay. I think that if we did not, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk, Nick. I think that if we were not in a pandemic at that time, it would have been business as usual. Just like, you know, Mike Brown, it's like, okay, we're on it right now, and then it's off. Tamir Rice, so we're on it, okay, and then it's off. You know, we still know, we remember those names, but then the next step, but George Floyd, we all had to stand still. We all had to watch it because it kept going and it kept going and it kept going. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
So I thank God for the pandemic, honestly.
He meant to kill George Floyd, period, point blank in the conversation. And he thought that badge was going to get him off. That's why a lot of these officers that have been doing things, they think that badge is the permission to go above, beyond, and overboard. And it makes it bad for our other officers who are doing their job right, who are trying to protect and serve everyone, not just a particular race, not just certain people, even if they don't like you. It's still the fact that they took an oath to protect and serve. And so some of these corrupt officers, some of these racist pigs, because that's what they are, sorry, not sorry, it's a conflict. And then the fact that, you know, they have that oath within themselves, it's making the good officers be in conflict about reporting, some of them, about reporting what's going on with the bad officers, because when they do, then the whole department cues in on them. You guys need to stop that. It needs to stop from the top, because if something isn't right and one of the fellow officers tries to address it, it needs to be addressed, and then nothing else needs to be done. No other retaliation, no nothing. That is your job. You took that out to protect and serve. If that's not what you were trying to do, then you find a dang on job. I was getting ready to cuss, at McDonald's. You don't need to be behind no badge. You are purposely going to be especially if you're a racist or you were bullied as a young child or whatever, and your occupation, all of a sudden you're a police officer. You only going to be a police officer so you can inflict harm. Period. You're not really wanting to protect and serve. You want to inflict harm, especially if you're a racist, and that's causing a conflict with the officers that are really trying to do their job. Man, go into the wrestling federation, man. Go be a boxer. Don't sit there and take that oath to protect and serve, knowing doggone well you got a target, especially a target for Black people. Sit your ass down somewhere. Okay. Go have some seats.
Okay, then. Now, speaking of that, you said go be a wrestler, go be a boxer. We know that some of them, they use that badge. They stand behind that badge. That's like their cape, their superhero cape. When you say that, it brings me back to, oh, geez, I was watching The View, and I can't think of his name. Roogle, you probably know what I'm talking about. But then I don't know, because you've been like excluded. I don't know where you've been at. Where the guy was saying, I believe he's a senator, and he was saying that he wasn't afraid of the issue. You know, he wasn't afraid of the insurrection, of those air quotes I'm using, fine people that went up there January the 6th. But if it was Black Lives Matter, he would have been afraid. You know what I'm talking about, Roogle?
No,
And he in the wrong office.
I just know
Man,
the
go find
comments.
something else to do.
Go
You
ahead.
just showed your racism.
Go ahead, Roogle.
It was a guy that was from, I believe he was from Texas, and he said something about comparing lynching to justice.
And he's still in office?
Yeah, he doubled down on it. He, like, they called him out like, hey, what's up with that? And he was like, oh, he meant what he said, you know. I'm not giving it the context that it deserves, because I was actually trying to look for it, but that was what I originally saw there. And it was like, when he's saying it, you can see this woman in the back. Her eyes is looking like, what? You know, a white woman is looking like, man, this dude is saying something like she's looking, her eyes are looking like, shut up.
I you saying that.
Like,
right.
I can't believe, like, you need to shut up. You know what I mean? It was just so bizarre.
Senator
you know?
Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. They're actually, he's faced charges of racism, and they call for his resignation after he told the radio host that he did not feel threatened by the insurrection. He feels threatened by Black Lives Matter. And it's so, I said this before, it's like, you feel threatened by Black Lives Matter. Who peacefully protest, okay? And we know, like I said before, and you and I, Nick, we agreed on that. All three of us, I believe, agreed on that. If they were Black people climbing the walls, busting into, you know, the Capitol, it would have been
more dead bodies.
Right. It'd have been a slaughterhouse. It would have been a slaughterhouse. But now he's facing charges. So that's who that was. And I thought it was interesting that he would say that he feared Black Lives Matter. Now, speaking of Black Lives Matter, I want to talk about Tamir Rice. I was listening to Samaria, I believe is his mom's name, on Urban View. And she was speaking, and she said that she got a check from, I believe, the Black Lives Matter. Don't quote me on this. Please look it up for yourself, because I'm paraphrasing. Black Lives Matter movement did a GoFundMe. Somebody did a GoFundMe for her, for Tamir Rice. And if you guys don't remember, that's the young boy. He was 12 years old in Cleveland, Ohio, that had the toy gun. And they said they shot him immediately, you know, within seconds.
Yeah, as soon as the cop pulled up to the park, he got his gun, he got out the car and just shot him.
And just shot him.
Yeah.
Well, she was saying that I guess they raised, and she didn't know the amount, but it was over 100,000, and they wrote her a check for 60,000. And what she was talking about on the Urban View, I can't remember whose show I was listening to, but she was saying how she didn't get all of her money. She said, granted, I didn't ask them to do a GoFundMe, but they only wrote her a check for 60,000. Now, do you believe she should have got all of the GoFundMe, even though she didn't ask them to do it, or just that partial 60,000? What's your thoughts? I know what you think on the GoFundMe. Go ahead, Roogle.
All right. If you have a nonprofit and you bring in money, technically the government allows you to keep about 30% of that, about a third of it for operational costs.
Okay.
Right. However, it doesn't, I don't know how this money was, how it was gathered. I know it was GoFundMe, right, or whatever it is, but I don't know, like, was it like, hey, we're giving you this, we want to give this woman this money for her legal defense or whatever, right? I don't know that.
Okay.
And I think that's important to know. And it just, even though if they feel like there was a legitimacy to keeping some of the money, it technically doesn't look all that great. And I would like to know, like, what would influence them to give the money to her anyway? You know what I mean? Like, why did they raise it is one thing. Why did they feel like they need to give it to her was another? Because I mean, it's after the fact. It wasn't like you know, hey, let's get this woman this money so she can get an attorney. Because I believe she did, didn't she receive a settlement?
Yeah, 250,000.
Really?
That's it.
Yep,
Really?
250,000. And I'm gonna give you all to you. Tamir's
Really? Wow.
Tamir's
That's all.
mother, listen, Tamir's, and this is the court justice in Cleveland. Tamir's mother, Samaria Rice, will receive more than 1.78 million in addition to a separate $250,000 settlement that she received. Leonard Warner, which is the father of the 12-year-old young man, he will receive 843,000. And Tamir's Rice's sister, Tajay, will receive 640,000 in addition to the separate 250,000 settlement. So the settlement was 250,000. For those of you, if you want to know the story of Tamir Rice, I mean, it was vivid. It was like, oh my gosh, here's a young man. And that's when you say, okay, squirt guns, they need to be colorful. You know what I mean? So, you know, but then who's to say that it won't happen? That happened in November of 2014. So you're talking right around Thanksgiving. How horrific is that?
Well, my thing is like, you just gave numbers that's less than $3 million.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I'm just, I like that to me is just ridiculous in itself. They killed a child. He killed a child. I'm gonna put it on he killed a child. And the only reason these lawsuits, because people are like, oh, you getting money, right? But sometimes
from Cleveland.com, the court justice system in 2016.
Okay, but the thing I'm saying is like, the reason why it's important that these folks get money in this thing is because the only way reform happens is when there's an impact to them, to the system financially. Because if it was just about the wrong thing happening, then they would make legislation and rules that would fix it. But the only thing that makes change is when these municipalities, these businesses and things like that take a financial toll for it. And that's no, I mean, don't get me wrong, $3 million out the budget is an impact. But the point is that doesn't ignite the passions within them to say, we will lose funding because of this wrongdoing. Well, and I just think that's just ridiculous. Is that I mean, like, there should be more done because the person got off, right? If I'm not mistaken, he got off.
Yes, that was the issue. So a day ago, social justice, this is according to the political war room. Okay, so you guys can check that out. His mother didn't stop. So the article that I read with the $250,000 settlement, that was from Cleveland, the court justice, 2 years after his death. So a day ago, she kept fighting. And she said she wasn't standing for that. So on Monday, look at this, hot off the pressure, girl, got you covered. Let's see what we see here. Let's see, social justice. Tamir Rice's mom calls out identity politic leeches. Attorney Ben Crump and Black Lives Matter, like Al Sharpton. Okay, this is a whole article, so you guys have to see it. So this happened on yesterday, 12:15 p.m. yesterday. They're saying exactly what you said, Roogle. So we're looking at, let's see here. Let me see. Although the city did not admit wrongdoing, they settled out of court. Okay, we talked about that already. But they finally agreed to $6 million to the family. So this is as of yesterday. So the news I was reporting was what was happening.
So they knew if it went to court, they was gonna get a lot. They was gonna get really nailed for more. Mm-hmm. This is what that is. I mean, but it's just like the only way you have reform is when it hit these people in their pockets. Because obviously, when it's just happened, they're not taking the necessary reforms to fix the issue. This is the only way that it brings about change.
Okay. And you're dead on.
Any callers?
I should have used that word, but you know what I mean. You're right on, Roogle, because Monday, what I was talking about, the city will pay, okay, So the city will pay Tamir's family $3 million this year and $3 million next year. That's what they're doing with the $6 million. And they will receive the $250,000 each directly, just like I was saying before, and that's the settlement price. She's saying that the money, she had tweeted, it was on the Twitter. I'm tired of you black, this is from the mom. I'm tired of you Black Lives Matter, Tamika Mallory and Sonny B's that's riding these families back, and y'all ambulance chasing attorneys, Ben Crump, Lee Merrick, to all have effed up our fight, and y'all can kiss my A too. That's what the mother said. Make it make sense. You can't be working with the devil. Wait, working with the devil is easy to do. You can't. Oh, make it make sense. You can't. You should be a comma. Working with the devil is easy to do. F y'all. So she's upset with that whole thing, and she put that Twitter message out there. I read that verbatim from her Twitter account, so I didn't make that up and I didn't paraphrase. So she's upset about that, and she's upset about the attorneys that once, like Breonna Taylor, she said when I was listening to the Urban View, she was saying how Breonna Taylor, she tried to reach out to her mother. How come y'all didn't help me reach out to her mother and talk to her, but y'all quick to hurry up and want to represent me because you want all the money and the funds? And she's trying to get together and use her platform to talk about children their children being killed by police. Now, I talked about Bloody Sunday, which happened in March. What was it, 65? Earlier in March. If you back is down in Selma, so y'all could check that out. Where this stuff this didn't just happen. This didn't just happen as far as like police killing our people. This is an ongoing thing, and now we're tired. Now, I just thought it was interesting that old Sidney Johnson said that he's afraid of Black Lives Matter and wasn't afraid of the people that came in there with weapons. With weapons. They're afraid. Why are you you got people that come in there with weapons, but you still blackball Kaepernick. So you have a problem. Kneeling makes you that upset? Saying nothing makes you upset? Why? So kneeling makes you upset, and not saying nothing, being peaceful, makes you upset when we're peaceful. That you're upset, you want to call their moms, call their moms out of their name because they don't say anything but give you the utmost respect. I'm so confused. Go ahead, Nick, take it.
I was getting ready to say, do we have any callers too?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No.
That's what I was doing like this, and I said, callers.
Look, yeah, you see me sitting here like study doing my stuff.
In it. But this whole thing has to, listen, I'm all for the fight if they're going to be right about everything. Mm-hmm. I'm all for Black Lives Matter if they are going to stand and do the right thing. If they know they're doing some shady stuff, leave it alone, dismantle it, because I mean, you saying Black Lives Matter, but y'all trying to fatten y'all pockets too off of it. That's not fair. You started this fight to help the parents or the spouse or the children of a Black person that was slain through police brutality. Well, how are you trying to fatten your pockets off of that? If you making a GoFundMe without asking the person or the parent or whatever, mm-hmm. Don't make it on the sole purpose or on that person. Just do it, just say help raising funds, going towards legal fees to help. So, but don't put that person's name on it, and then you ain't trying to give them that money. Should nobody have to call y'all out your name and put y'all out there for you to give them pennies on the dollar? That don't make no sense. I mean, if you raise $100,000 for Tamir Rice through a GoFundMe, then $100,000 should have went to his mama. And if she felt like giving y'all some, then that's fine. I mean, don't misuse the system. Don't do that, because then certain things is going on. Just like we got certain people, we trying to do peaceful protests, but then you got some that want to say Black Lives Matter and then want to be rowdy and do stuff. Y'all don't do that. That's why Black people can't never, we are always going to be behind, because we can't never stand together as one like they do. I'm sorry, that's what it is. I mean, like which the lady on I can't think of her real name, but on Soul Food, when she told her daughters about that fist, you have all them fingers, and when you have that fist, that's a mighty impact. When you get together and form one fist, that's a mighty impact. But you got this group over here, well, I ain't messing with them, I don't like them, so I'm gonna go over here. This group over here, you got killing each other all the time. We need to stand together, period, in order to have everyone take us seriously and see what we're talking about, what our fight is about, what, because of course everybody kills within their own race, but then, we're saying, Black Lives Matter, and then you have Black folks killing each other, and then people getting mad because we bring that up. Yes, we do, and it's wrong. If we trying to make a stand and try to get everyone to see and just stop that, we have to just stand together, period. Leave all that other mess alone.
Okay, Roogle did explain as far as how the GoFundMe and nonprofit organizations and the monies that you'll have to pay out. Go ahead, Roogle. I seen that you were.
I mean, it just, like, again, not knowing how they gathered the money and that sort of thing, but let me put it like this. There is a cost to activism. There is a cost to grassroots ways of being able to solve problems and that sort of thing. I don't know if I would go so far to try to condemn the whole organization, because for example, I don't know if that was a chapter or that was the main one. There's so many things that I don't know, but it just seems like to me that, I mean, obviously there was some expense incurred in doing this sort of thing. Organizing is not really free.
But
I mean,
how long? Why did it take so long to give her the money? Why does she have to call them out? That's the whole thing.
Well, I think they gave her the money. From how I understood, I guess they gave her the money and then she called them out.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And she said that she was homeless and she needed a place to stay and all this extra stuff. But I just look at it this way. I'm sorry for what happened to her son. I really am. And I'm for, the social justices. That's what I'm for. I'm not for social injustices or injustices of our people at all. However, what if they wouldn't have set up, you wouldn't have had the 60,000 anyway. If they wouldn't have set up the GoFundMe. And I understand the frauds. I understand all of that, the scams that are going on. I'm just confused as you're not grateful for that dollar. You know what I'm saying? You're not grateful for that dollar. You're not grateful for the $5 that was given, anything, because you would not have had anything. You would not have had anything. Now call them out if it's a fraud. You know what I mean? Like, no, they're saying this and they're using, and that's what she was pretty much saying. They're using our children's name to get ahead. But just like Roogle said, organizations and to organize a protest or anything, it costs, because you have to look at the water, the outhouses. You know what I mean? When you do it the right way, there is funding that is involved with the person. Go ahead, Roogle.
Well, when you think about it like this, you got to think about just the person that's doing it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. I mean, if you ever tried to do a campaign for anything, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Okay, but the thing is, if you're going to do it in somebody's name, contact that person that needs to be contacted and ask them if it's okay. She said she didn't know anything about it. They should have contacted her and said, is it okay if we start a GoFundMe in your son's name? That's what that's one of the main things. Don't just keep doing GoFundMe's in somebody's name when something is going on, just because you contact that person and ask them if it's okay, because they might not want to be a part of that. They might want to do their own GoFundMe.
Well,
now,
I think,
now you have a point. Now you're preaching. Go ahead.
I think one of the things is, I mean, we always got to say this is buyer beware. Who are you giving your money to, and for what reason? I think the other thing is that if they said we're doing a GoFundMe to give his mother this money, then she should get it all, right? If they're saying we're gonna a GoFundMe to raise up money.
We know you ain't donating. Talking about some GoFundMe. Go ahead.
GoFundMe, right?
He was talking about himself. He was talking about himself.
No, I'm just saying in this situation, like I ain't like the only reason GoFundMe is kind of controversial is because of the Gorilla Glue girl or what have you. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I mean, I think it's a good tool to help people. You know, if it's legitimate and people ain't trying to scam people. I've seen people, try to go in there and raise money for people who had cancer and all kinds of stuff. You know, I mean, I think it's a good tool. I just think the one thing that we don't know is how did they present. They wanted to raise his money. How did they say it? Is this to go and fight on behalf of the injustices that has happened to this young man, or was it like give the money to the mother? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that information, but it sounds like from her interview, it's like, okay, they did this for her, and here you go, and she didn't know anything about it. So I'm with Nick, the voice of the people. Contact the person, see if it's okay, and then move on. And yes, she should be directly connected. I really feel as though she should be directly connected. But listen to this. When you do protest, just like Roogle said, it costs money, but it didn't cost money for Aretha Franklin's granddaughter. She just did this on a protest for the movie. We know Aretha is his girl. Aretha is his girl. And she's doing a movie. Well, actually doing a movie about her life. And the granddaughter is like, no, stop it. No, we're not going to do it. Because remember, Aretha wanted Jennifer Hudson to play her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the person that's actually playing her, and Roogle, you're going to like this, Cynthia Erivo. Did I say it right?
No.
Go ahead.
I think it's Erivo.
Is that it?
Erivo? Yeah, Erivo. Something with that. But anyway, she played Harriet Tubman in the biopic.
So Aretha didn't want her playing her. And
he wanted Jennifer.
She wanted Jennifer, but let's be real. So Jennifer is a singer.
This other girl, she can sing.
Yeah, I heard she can sing too. I heard she can sing.
But Jennifer Hudson, I think it's just like, again, people
Who's
say
the better actress?
Jennifer Hudson won an Oscar.
Listen here.
Jennifer Hudson has an Oscar.
Listen,
who did Aretha want? That's all that matters.
Aretha wanted Jennifer.
She said she wanted Jennifer. They should have got Jennifer. They wrong for that.
Well, I thought there was supposed to be one with Jennifer Hudson, and this was something else.
It is. It is going to be that. The granddaughter of the late iconic singer Aretha Franklin is speaking out. She was the only one that showed up for the protest, though, against the upcoming series about her life. Her name, Victory Franklin. She had took to Instagram to spread the word about this protest. And I guess the series is supposed to be called Genius. And then, Genius Aretha, which is scheduled to air on tomorrow. I had to look at the date. Like, wait, tomorrow, the 21st, on the National Geographic. Do y'all have that station?
Yeah, I never watch it, but yeah, I used to watch it though a long time ago.
Did you? Okay, so that's where it's supposed to be on. And they were saying that the Cynthia played an excellent, she played her very, very well. And she wanted Jennifer to play her. And I don't care if you win an Oscar. I feel like the Oscars is like that the vice principal in Florida and her daughter stuffing the ballots. Because some of those people, I'm like,
Yeah, some of them that be winning over, like, how?
Okay. Well, the thing is that let's just put this.
Go ahead.
Jennifer Hudson is starring as Aretha Franklin in Respect that'll be released in 2021.
Oh yeah, that
Okay,
is.
so Jennifer's playing that one.
Yeah. And
Cynthia's
so that's
doing the
gonna
one
be
that's tomorrow.
yeah, so I guess she's doing
Actually,
some.
a lot of people have already seen that one, because you know how we do with fire sticks. And I did have several people on Facebook that I'm friends with that have watched it, and they said that lady, whoever this young lady is, did a very good job.
Okay, Cynthia, okay.
She's,
All right.
I mean,
So now we got to watch both of them to see, but you know, I'm not the movie girl, so let me know what's going on, Roogle, because that's your girl. Don't say nothing
I'm
bad
just
about
saying,
Roogle.
like, and guess what? My other girl about to have a biopic or something like that on HBO on the 27th.
Who?
Tina Turner.
Oh, I love Tina.
You know what I'm saying? Rolling down the river.
Rolling down.
Proud Mary.
Proud
Proud
Mary.
Mary.
Wait though. Why Tina got to be rolling down the river? Did I toss her? I thought I was rolling on the river.
Because of Jimmy, because not what's his name? Was his Mr. I can't Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey and Liar Liar when he's the lawyer, he's like you'd be like Tina Turner rolling down the river. That movie was hilarious.
That definitely was. And so Tina Turner's movie will be coming on when?
I believe it's March 27th on HBO Max.
Oh man, I can't afford HBO. But I gotta find it. So Nick, you gotta let your girl know on the Fire Stick. Keep us
all right.
Let us know which channel.
I sure will.
Let us know how to get to hook up. Oh, look, on air live.
Dude, the views on these folks about how to get movies are not the views of Roogle the movie guy. You better get you a subscription if it's for 1 month. Right. And talking about that, you can watch the Justice League, the Snyder Cut Justice League. Oh man.
That's good.
I did see that today when I was trying to watch the Falcon.
I did watch the Falcon too. Yeah.
I fell asleep this morning because I just got off work. So yeah, but I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Roogle, what's happening in the movie world, even though we were talking about the movies?
Man, well, you all heard the stuff earlier about the Aretha Franklin biopic and all that sort of stuff. So we'll move on ahead. So this week, the biggest news that has been released is basically on the small screen with HBO Max and their release of the truly awaited Snyder Cut version of Justice League. Now, Zack Snyder was the original director of the 2017 release of the Justice League. Now, during the time of production, he had a personal issue where his daughter had passed, and so therefore he left the project. They brought in Josh Whedon, who had a very successful turnabout with some of his projects like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He went on to do the 2 Avengers movies, being the first Avengers movie and then the Avengers Age of Ultron. At that point in time, when he left the project, Warner Brothers got him to replace or to substitute for Zack Snyder. Now, when you look at the movie and the results of it from the 2017 theatrical release, it was not all that great. And people were not all that happy. And so what happened was the fans, people like me, people like Nick, people like Mel said, we want the Snyder Cut, right? We want the Snyder Cut. That's what we want. So there was an online campaign for a couple of years, and then Warner Brothers said, you know what? You want that Snyder Cut? We're going to give it to you. At first, they gave Zack Snyder about $40 million. Then they said, we're going to give you another $40 so he had about $70 million to go in there and do his version of the movie. Now, what we realized was that a lot of his movie was not shot. And when you see those, when you watch the first one and then watch this one, you could have gave us that. If they would have gave us that, if they would have gave us this, there would have been no problems. And I mean, people can put out there some issues. Like one thing people want to say is that, well, it's 4 hours and 2 minutes long. I'm like, you watching it at home, get over it. You know what I mean? But and the way it's broken up is like title cards in between. So it's part one, part two, you know, and that sort of thing. So, but when I watched it, it was a fluent watch for me. I did have to stop because it was, I ended up waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I said, hey, that released today. Boom. So I watched it till about 6:30. I had to go do something. Boom. Came back and finished watching it. You know, and it was, to me, 4 hours wasn't an issue for me. I thought the pace was good. I thought how they explored the characters of Cyborg and Flash in more detail were exciting. And Josh, so part of the controversy is Joss Whedon, who was over the original project, he kind of cut Ray Fisher out. And Ray Fisher came and he was complaining to Warner Brothers about his mistreatment on this film. And it would have been such a better film had he kept to having Cyborg, Ray Fisher, who Ray Fisher played, had that character more involved in the overall tone and direction of the movie. I thought it was it's very seldom we get a second chance to do a project, and I think he did a really great job. And I wanted, like, some of the stuff that he did, I was like, I want to see more of that. Like, give me more of that stuff right there. There was some continuity issues around like Aquaman though, but to me, it wasn't enough. It was still like, okay, we had the Aquaman movie, all right. If there were some continuity issues, that's fine. Let's just keep on going. Let's keep it rolling. Give me more of that Zack Snyder goodness, because it was really nice. I thought it was really good. And I could talk about that. I could have talked about for the whole 2 hours, but I'll move on to the thing is, as I transition into the Winter Soldier, what I would say about this is that I think originally they were supposed to release the Snyder Cut as a series, and then they said, nah, then they just said we're just going to do it all at once. And I think part of their apprehension was, we're going up against Falcon and the Winter Soldier that has a huge fan base from the Captain America movies and Marvel in general. But I'm glad I didn't have to wait. And I'll tell you this, I've watched it, like, I haven't been glued to my seat a whole bunch, but I probably had it on at least 4 times. I mean, really watching it. And to me, I'm glad that he did it, because it helps repair the terribleness of Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 1984, which was some trash. That was some trash. That was some trash, Gordon.
Yeah, I actually did fall asleep on that one. Why? Yeah, I tried to watch it.
And the thing was, I tried to watch that movie 5 times, and so HBO was bragging about, oh, we got so many more views than Soul that was on Disney Plus. But the reason is because I could watch Soul one time and be satisfied and be like, yeah, Wonder Woman, man, I was nodding off. I was like, what is this? What is this? Jack Skellington, what is this? Like, it was just so, like, bad. Like, I mean, it was bad, and it was bad for I'm not going to relive that anymore. Like, I never got to watch that movie ever again. But I'm glad that he had the last say as far as like what this character can be, and he brought back that Wonder Woman that was given to us in the original biopic. I mean, not biopic, Jesus Christ. The original release and whenever that came out. But it was so much more fulfilling. I really enjoyed it. But I think the issue was they released it as a movie because they didn't want to compete with Winter Soldier as a series. That's my opinion. But Winter Soldier started off pretty good. I wish I had more episodes. I just wanted more of it. It did set up a platform to show us what's going on. Did you watch it, Nick?
Which one?
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I saw that.
My biggest problem with Winter Soldier, spoilers, is why the hell he didn't keep the shield himself when he was given the shield from the guy. Like, the man gave you the shield and say, be me, be Captain America, do the damn job, but you give the damn shield up. I don't like it. It seems like this was like they kind of conveniently made a reason, and I wasn't sure if the DC's, I mean, if Captain America as an older man died off, because it gave me the impression that he may have died, or it gave me the impression that he was trying to cover up the fact that he was alive because they didn't want him to, you know, want it out there that he was still alive or whatever as an older man. But it just seemed weird to me that he gave up the mantle, and now the whole series is pretty much predicated on him becoming Captain America.
Okay.
Hey, Hudson here with the team from the Remixx Morning Show. I want to give a shout out to Mel with ShopTalk, honey.
Hey, let's talk today's Q-tips. We're going to talk about decision making the right decision. Yes, we make over 20,000 decisions a day. Now, I'm going to give you a few tips, and it is definitely a few, not a lot, okay, on how to make the right decisions, okay? When you make a decision, detach from your emotions, negative emotions, that is, okay? So when you're making that decision, whatever that decision may be in your daily life, your occupation, your love life, just decisions overall, detach from your emotions to ensure that you make the right decisions, okay? Follow your intuition when you make a decision. Fearful, a lot of people become fearful when making decisions. Now I'm going to explain that a little bit more. Fear, two ways: fear of harm, fear of the unknown. And I want you to pay attention to the signs. If you see one red flag, it's usually a parade to follow. And we have the tendency as humans to, when we're making a decision and we are attached or addicted, is that safe to say? Or addicted. And if we're in a relationship, we might be addicted. Follow me. We tend to make excuses as to why we need to stay. Remember, lovely people, excuses are monuments of nothing. I live by this. Write it down when you're making a decision. Write it down, your excuses, that is. If you have excuses as to why you should stay, write them down on a piece of paper, a sheet of paper, and just stack them up. What are you going to do with that? You're going to toss it. Toss that junk out, because excuses are monuments of nothing. Deal with what's right in your face. What it is, make it plain. What's in front of you? What do you see? Stop thinking for other people. We must stop thinking for other people, especially when we're making a decision. And I'm going to just say this off top: take your own advice. You can weigh in what somebody else says. You can ask them, what do you think of this? You know, run it past somebody to see what their thoughts are, but make sure it is your own advice and you are the one that's actually making the decision. Because why? You can't blame those other people for a decision that you ultimately made, okay? And today's footnote is: the most important decision you make is to be in a good mood at all times. All right, lovely people, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you, as I do each and every single Saturday. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people.
ShopTalk.
Everybody got it.